Hello, my name is Mike Geig, and welcome to my video on dragging controls, which is part of my video series on Windows programming with C#. In this video, we're going to look at how to move controls around a form. Now, what we're going to do is going to seem very sophisticated, but ultimately what we're doing is just a little bit of smoke and mirrors behind the scenes to allow us to drag controls around. It makes it look very interactive when really we're just kind of doing something very basic. So what I want to do is I want to be able to move around a text box. I'm going to come over here to my toolbox. And I'm going to grab a text box. This will work with any control, but I'm grabbing a text box. Alright. And I will just place it in the middle of the screen. Now, a couple things that we're going to need to make this work. We are going to need a flag that tells us whether or not we're dragging the control currently. We are going to need some offsets to keep track of the mouse location. And then we're going to need a couple event handlers. Alright, so what I'm going to do is with my text box highlighted, I'm going to click on the lightning bolt here to get to my event handlers, and I am going to look for mouse down. That's when they press the mouse key down while inside that box. So I'll double click in there to get an event handler, and let's talk about some of the things we need. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and add some member variables here. So I'm going to have a private int click offset x, and I'm going to have a private int click offset y, and I'm going to have a private bool is dragging, which is going to equal false. Alright, now inside my mouse down, I'm simply going to say is dragging equals true, and I'm going to say the click offset x is going to equal e.x, e being the event arguments, the mouse event arguments. It's going to contain the location of the mouse. Now that location of the mouse is from the side of the screen, alright, not necessarily the form. So we're going to do click offset y equals e.y, just like that. Alright, so what basically we're going to say is, hey, we're saying that the mouse is being dragged, alright, and we're just going to keep update, or we're going to place the location of the starting location of the mouse. All right. Next thing I need is I'm going to have a mouse up event. So back here with the text box highlighted, I'm going to look for mouse up, and mouse up is just going to say is dragging equals false. We're no longer dragging the control. That's all we're doing there. That's all we need to worry about. And then finally, we're going to look at the mouse move. That's where the mouse is moving inside this text box. And when we move the mouse, we're going to say if is dragging. Now inside here, we want to say text box 1 dot text, or I'm used to saying dot text, dot left is going to equal e dot x. That's the location of the mouse on the x-axis, plus text box 1 dot left minus the click offset. Alright, so we're basically taking where the left was plus where the mouse is minus where the mouse was. Alright, and then I'm going to say text box 1 dot top equals e dot y plus text box 1 dot top minus click offset y. Alright, so we're basically just taking where it was and we're moving it to where it is. So I'll run it. Now when I move my mouse in here and I click down, you can see that I can drag the control around the form. We're just updating its up and its left properties to be where we want it to be. That's simple. Okay, so that's dragging controls around inside a form. We can do it with all sorts of controls. There's really no limitation. Anything that has the mouse event handlers, we can create this dragging effect by intelligently using the mouse event handlers to sort of simulate a feature. So it seems very technical what we're doing, right? It's like, whoa, that's really neat. We're moving our controls around our form, when really all we're doing is keeping track of their locations and updating their locations behind the scenes. It's just a little bit of math, adds a whole bunch of interactivity. Okay, so that's going to wrap up this video on dragging controls around in Windows Forms.